Have you ever looked at your life and thought, what happened to me? Not in a dramatic way. Not because everything is falling apart, but because something feels different. You still go to work? You still answer messages. You still do what needs to be done. But somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. The things that excited you don't excite you anymore. The version of yourself you remember feels distant, almost like someone else. So what happened? And why do so many people feel this way? 1. Change happens so slowly you don't notice. Most major life changes don't happen overnight. They happen gradually. One stressful month, then another. A difficult year, a new responsibility, a disappointment, a breakup, burnout, loss, pressure. Life changes us in tiny increments, so small that we rarely notice them happening, until one day we look up and realize something feels different. 2. Survival mode changes your personality. When life becomes stressful, your brain shifts priorities. Curiosity becomes less important. Playfulness becomes less important. Creativity becomes less important. The goal becomes survival. Get through the day, pay the bills, handle responsibilities, solve problems. And while survival mode is useful during difficult periods, it's not a great place to live permanently. 3. You might be mourning an older version of yourself. Sometimes what people call feeling lost is actually grief. Not grief for another person, grief for themselves. The version that was more hopeful, more energetic, more spontaneous, more optimistic, more confident. The difficult part is that most people don't realize they're grieving. They just feel disconnected. 4. Adult life creates identity drift. As children and teenagers, we spend a lot of time asking, who am I? What do I like? What excites me? But adulthood often shifts the focus toward responsibilities. What needs to get done? What must be paid? Who depends on me? And over time, many people stop investing in the parts of themselves that once felt alive. 5. Burnout doesn't just drain energy. One of the most overlooked effects of burnout is identity loss. People think burnout means being tired, but often it's deeper than that. You stop recognizing yourself. You lose interest in things you once loved. You stop dreaming about the future. Not because you don't care, because your mental resources have been depleted. 6. Social media makes this worse. Every day you're exposed to hundreds of people who appear successful, confident, attractive, happy, purposeful. And without realizing it, you start comparing your current self to everyone's highlight reel. The result? You begin feeling like you're falling behind in a race that doesn't actually exist. 7. You're not supposed to stay the same forever. Here's something important. Sometimes feeling like a different person isn't a problem. It's growth. The challenge is that growth often feels uncomfortable because you're leaving behind a familiar version of yourself. Even positive change can feel like loss. 8. The real question isn't who was I? Many people try to reconnect with their old selves, and sometimes that's helpful. But the better question may be, who am I becoming? Because life isn't about returning to who you were at 16, or 20, or 25. It's about building a version of yourself that fits who you are now. 9. Reconnection happens through action. Most people wait to feel like themselves again, but identity usually returns through action. Doing things you once loved, trying new experiences, talking to people who know the real you, spending less time surviving and more time living. Small actions often rebuild identity faster than endless thinking. 10. You're probably still in there. This is what many people need to hear. The version of you that felt alive, curious, creative, hopeful, didn't necessarily disappear. It may simply be buried underneath stress, responsibilities, exhaustion, and survival mode. And buried is very different from gone. If you've been feeling disconnected from yourself lately, take a breath. You are not the only person experiencing this, and you're probably not broken. Life changes people. Stress changes people. Time changes people. But feeling different doesn't mean you've lost yourself forever. Sometimes it simply means you've been surviving for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to live. And maybe the next chapter isn't about finding your old self. Maybe it's about meeting the new one,